Cloud9 will now move back over onto the red side in this one. Where are they going to go? How are the bans going to change? Lucian banned again by Samsung Blue. That was a ban in game number 2 after Sneaky went crazy on it in game number 1. Alistair continues to be banned here by Blue. On the other side, it's not that much different. Yasuo taken away. There is a Z ban this time, and it comes from Cloud9.
That's been their strategy against Dade, is cover up both of those two champions. Those are the two that they do focus on when playing against him. Last time it was banning one, picking one, and the first time around it was having both banned out as well.
Let's see whether the Zillion gets through. I got a feeling Cloud9 won't ban it this time. Samsung Blue are considering it. Maokai, of course, also on the cards. It's a Thresh ban.
Lemon has not played Thresh.
Yeah. That makes no sense.
They've been highly prioritizing Thresh this whole time, so they may have a little hole in the research that they've done on Lemon Nation.
Well, Zillion was banned out here by Cloud9.
But the same thing for Cloud9. They've got a little hole here too.
Boom, there we go. That's going to get locked in straight away. That's the one that snuck through the pick and bans. It does, of course, mean that Kha'Zix is available for Meteos, but at least in lock-in the first time we're going to see it, and Spirit very happy. You can see the big grin on his face for that one.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, it's been pushed out of the way so many times here. We'll see if that's going to come back to on Cloud9. They're not getting rid of that Lee Sin for a third game in a row. Leaves a lot of options open to them here, though. For example, Rise, which Balls did very well with in game number 1. Will he want to pick that up this early on, considering the fact that Acorn not really played a whole lot of Rise in the past? Will they think about supports now with Thresh gone? Is Morgana that much of a priority? I think it still would be the way that Lemon Nation's been playing it.
He's also a really big fan of Janna right now too. So it really does depend on the rest of their team comp that they're trying to go with this time. Taking a long time to lock him in. There it is. Okay, so they do go for it again. I do really like to switch for high, actually, mostly for this Cloud9 lock-in, making him have a little bit of a safer champion. So he doesn't dive in and go for those super risky plays. Now, that being said, last time we saw him on Syndra, he was flashing forward for long-range Syndra stuns. So he still tries to make plays on this Syndra. It's just, it's not 100% commitment. So we'll see if he's able to stay with a bit more of an even keel this time around.
Well, of course, Rumble is still on the table, as is Rise. We'll see whether there's a top lane pick, whether they fancy the AD carry support route at the moment. I'm pretty certain it's not going to be Nasus and Teemo. We're waiting to see what they change to. Of course, Maokai came through last time. Balls had that. Didn't work out so well for him. And Corki, a big favorite of Depths in the group stage, had incredible KDA on it, honestly, 76.9 overall, 22-10 on Corki if he locks this one in just 2 games. That is crazy, but it could be. No! For a minute, I thought N-Rated was going to be redeemed and Sona was going to get locked in, but it's Braum once again.
So here's the thing. Blue, they're going to answer this sort of long-range defensive first 2 round picks of Cloud9 with hard engage for themselves. So they lock in a ridiculous front line for Blue here with very hard engage. Because when you're already looking at Syndra and Janna, there's a possibility to go extremely highly range damage with this team and to play that sort of kite around composition that Shield really made popular. But Blue lock in that answer, so they've already got this really beastly front line that if gets going, it's really hard to stop, especially for those mid-game team fights.
So for Cloud9 then, taking their time once again, will they take the AD carry here for Sneaky to go along with Lemon Nation's Janna? No, they won't. It's going to be the top lane and jungle. Rumble for Balls and Kha'Zix for Meteos.
So Rumble, this time it's Balls' turn to see if he can deliver. And of course, we do know that maybe he's going to push towards the mid-game. Maybe Cloud9 can get that early start like they did in Game 1 over Samsung Blue. Of course, AD carry is still on the cards for Sneaky. We'll see which way he falls. Of course, we're waiting to see which way Samsung Blue are going to fall. And you talked about that big tanky front line. Not too sure about a Jace going in there. It's a case of who do you want as AD carry? Deft, Fancy, Vayne? Would be the first time this tournament we see him play it.
They need a high damage champion. They have a lot of tank, but they really need Def to carry the DPS. As we've said so many times, he is half of the DPS for this team, especially towards that late game.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Offering here, yeah. not exactly decided here, but as we tick down, we are going to see
Dade and Rise.
Corki and a very second switch to Jace. I had a feeling that was going to happen, which is why I was dragging out my sentence as long as possible. It was a last-second switch to the Jace here for Dade up against High Syndra, a rematch of Game 1, actually.
Yeah, and it didn't work out for them that well the first time around. High was fine in the matchup 1 versus 1, and then Dade didn't get to add a whole lot to the team fights either. This time around, though, it's a bit of poke, but they don't have a lot of extra poke to go with it. I mean, it's Corki and Jace firing missiles and shock blasts pretty much all day, but Cloud9 have a lot of range damage here. They locked in the Rumble after that Janna plus Syndra combo, so if Syndra lands one of those line stuns, then Rumble can just lay the full ultimate right down on top of it too. It means that Cloud9 have very good team fighting in jungle pathways.
Big grin on Sneaky's face. What's he going to lock in for the AD carry? Will it be the Tristana? Whoa, Graves! First time in this tournament we've seen it. Did obviously come out throughout the summer in the LCS.
Talking about burst line damage here. If they fight in a corridor, that's a lot of ultimate damage they can throw down.
This is a big deal. Sneaky never played this in the summer at all. So he has not played this at a pro level in a tournament match for a very long time.
Right. Whenever we do say these things, obviously these guys practice as pros.
Yes.
All the champions in solo queue. But yeah, it does add a lot of shoving potential for their lane as well. Graves, very easy to shove your lane with Buckshot, especially when it gets the extra AD from Janna shields early on. And that's a really good thing to do against Braum. Try and get him under the turret, try and get him pushed in.
Well, we'll see how this one works out, of course. It is Game 3. We are about to get it underway here. 1-1, all square, if you've just joined us. And good morning, Europe. If you've got up really early, then well done, you guys in England, of course. Well, I know we started at 6 a.m. their time, and some crazy hour of the morning for the Americans. You guys at home, of course, been tuning in by the bucket loads throughout this world. And we've had some fantastic games throughout this world, so why not? This is a great best of 5, and I got a feeling, you know, this may well go all 5 games.
So I actually made a little prediction earlier on in the day for Cloud9 to win this game. I'm not going to reveal what exactly that prediction was because I'm a little bit scared of, you know, the questions. I'll reveal if they actually do win.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Of course, while this game is starting up, head over to Twitter. And don't forget to let us know who you think has the edge here. Use the hashtag SSBWin or C9Win. And of course, don't forget to include @LOL Esports, and we'll keep track of your votes. So, game number 3. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live in Busan, South Korea, in front of a home audience for Samsung Blue. Can they deliver to the home crowd, or will Cloud9 put another monkey wrench in their plans?
I don't know. I'm actually fairly worried what Meteos will be doing in the team fights in this setup here, because Braum and Maokai are very hard to play against as Kazakhs. You have to be sure you're getting a kill for a reset if you go in. Maokai's so good at peeling melee carries. Makes it very hard, and Meteos will probably be evolving his spike rack very early on to go more poke-oriented Kazakhs.
At the moment, Samsung Blue going for a big invade here. Going in numbers in towards this blue area. We'll see whether they give up anything, because you can see, of course, that Meteos is doing the same. He's got balls alongside him, so they've gone for a blue ward as well. So both teams, they've traded for the last 2 games, honestly.
Ping's going down.
Yeah, we'll see whether they catch him out. We do see Samsung Blue had vision of Cloud9. They know that they're around there, so they know it's a full-on trade. At the moment, we do see Sneakies in that bottom lane. Are we going to see a lane swap here for the first time from Samsung Blue?
Looks like they are going to at least get a ward down here. They are going to continue with that delayed. Nope.
Almost.
What a bait.
Almost. Seems like a full recall will be coming out of there. Just a quick kind of Graves fact here. We did see him all the way back in Taiwan in the group stage, where AHQ did play Garnet Devil, winning that game against Dark Passage. It actually was with the Graves. I saw the stats at the start. I'm like, I don't remember a Graves, but it was all the way back where it feels like a lifetime by now.
Never question the stat, guys, that's for sure. Cloud9,
right, there's
they're
the
on
delayed
the
invade. Ha! Other side.
They're going to go head-to-head, it seems. Hearts ready and waiting. It's a face check from Lemonation. He gets locked up and taken down by Spirit. It's not done yet. Dade can left on Sneaky. There's the exhaust. Hart tries to lock him up, and they are running away. He's going to get stunned out. Sneaky goes down. It's a 2 for 0, and a tragic, tragic start for Cloud9.
So remember last game, at the beginning of the game, when you said to me, hey, Cloud9, they're late invading with their duo every single time, and that's a pattern somebody might be able to capitalize on.
Oh, no.
Blue did. Meteos now going to try and chase him off his blue, though.
They're going to try and catch on Hart. They're going to lock on towards him to slow us down, but Def comes around as well. Phosphorus Bomb reacts. Have they got enough damage? I don't think they can even take down the support, but they can when the support comes in. In comes Lemonation. In comes High. They gift him a kill, and they get one back.
Well, what a start to
No
get
buffs have
number
been
3.
taken yet, guys.
Yeah, they're still going to fight for this one. They're still going to move over to that red buff. And Meteos is like, well, we lost 2 guys here before, but we'll fight it back and we'll steal your red buff no matter what you say.
Now, this is a game where you really want to pay attention to the junglers, how they react to a weird, awkward start like this, because they are going to be a bit behind. You do get catch-up experience, though, updated constantly with the both buffs. So let's see here, though. He focuses down bottom.
Meteos, oh, he's spotted by the ward, but there was good zoning coming out from Sneaky and Lemonation down the bottom lane because, of course, Deft was on his own early. We'll see whether that pays out, whether it works, and whether we'll even get to look at it.
Well, Spirit continues to fight on that top side, and when I say fight, I mean have a fight with the Wraiths, which he'll obviously be taking away pretty easily. Meteos, in the meantime, did back away onto his own blue buff there at the start, but Dade, not finished, might try for a cheeky little shock blast here. Won't be enough though, because Meteos has already smited that one down, so he will get his 2 buffs from the start. Same will happen for Spirit, but it'll just take him a little bit longer to finish off that blue.
Yep, because they know that they've exchanged the first buffs, then you just continue to jungle on the top or bottom side of the map, whichever ones your opponent did not start on. Spirit did the correct thing. Also taking away one of the camps, counter-jungling those Wraiths a bit before he moves over to his top side, because he has no idea what Meteos has left him inside his own jungle.
So you can see, of course, Sneaky will have the bigger numbers. Deft was zoned out at the start, but he will be able to play catch-up here. I mean, this is a very long time since we've seen his matchup. Dade taking some damage from High. Sneaky on the Graves with Lemonation on Janna. Janna, of course, coming into favor at Worlds, or just before it, if you were to obviously look towards Gorilla against a Jinx. I was about to say a Jinx for some reason. A Corki and a Braum. So who has the advantage in this head-to-head?
As we said, this is a pretty decent matchup here. Graves does want to try and buckshot through the minions and hit for harass at the same time to try and shove here. There we go. He does get a successful buckshot. Also able to dodge the Q there from Corki. A lot about skill shots this one.
Woo!
In comes a gank though. It sets it up pretty well with the exhaust.
I'm not sure they can finish this, but here comes Spirit from the back. He's landed the Q, but he went to Lemonation. That means turret hits and a couple of auto attacks back as well. And it was a right in theory from Samsung Blue, but they couldn't quite do it in practice.
Meanwhile, Cloud9 has spent a lot of resources up top side to clear out that ward, and Lemon getting in trouble.
Lemon this time in trouble. Has got the Flash Ignite. We'll just try and bring them in. But, of course, that top lane, as you mentioned, Meteos and High, they were up there, but they got saw by the ward, and that's given Spirit the chance to go in, counter jungle, and steal away some of Meteos' Wraiths.
And lay a lot of vision down there as well. Now, all Braum lanes, they do depend a lot on very aggressive moves like that. With the exhaust being down, that is going to open up some time for Cloud9, because the Flash from Heart was also used early on in that level 1. Sneaky, though, doesn't have any summoners left to himself. And Cloud9 have really decided to go with that strategy of trying to get their top lane Rumble ahead of the Maokai for that team fighting power. We've seen this quite often with the Rumble picks into Maokai, where a team focuses on getting that Rumble ahead for the team fight, but bottom revisit for Cloud.
Oh, very, very good from Lemonation there. Howl and Gale knocks him up, waited for that Unbreakable to finish and catches him out. Sneaky is still taking burst damage though. Hart is going to back away, and this is all happening. And Meteos is simply not being called into action. He's being covered, he's been tracked. You can see ward coverage there. They're pinging out his direction, so they know that he's nearby, so I expect Samsung Blue to step down. But look at Acorn, he's making moves on High.
High just barely backing off in time there. And also, Meteos, by the way, he did clear out that pink ward that Spirit left behind very early on, which is very important because that's not a bush you often check in your own jungle.
No, we saw that in group stages, funnily enough, that pink ward became pretty instrumental in a lot of things. As Dade going to be stunned up here by High, both of them level 6, which of course is going to mean a lot more for High at this stage once he gets that big burst to come through. If he can get Dade low enough if he wants to get involved in that. Both top laners are, of course, both level 6 as well, with a slight advantage in CS for Acorn over Balls, but still a lot to be decided on that top side of the map. Interestingly, a second Doran's Ring there for Acorn, so that'll slightly delay us. We haven't seen Death here diving in on top of Sneaky. Hart getting up there as well, but Sneaky just saying, no, I'll just dodge out and you'll not be able to stun me.
Quite a beautiful sidestep there. He had very little distance to work with.
Holding on to that flash as well. Has gone back, gets himself the BF sword. That's what he wanted. That's what he was delaying for. Death, of course, has already been back and got himself that phage, so we'll see how it works out for them. Lemonation will get some ward control in that river area. As actually, Samsung Blue keep pushing up. They're going to get their own wards down. Hart going deep on this one. And actually, he's going to pull a ward down and spot it. Meteos ready. He's going to go for it. Hart's going to be the focus.
Oh, can they finish him though? Death came in as well. Meteos knew that 2 auto attacks would have stunned him up. Lemon Nation comes around. The Howling Gale knocks off Death, but there's no follow through here from Cloud9.
Spirit going to try and make a play in the top lane as well, but that was pinged out. Balls spotted it early enough. Has got the equalizer, so it's very dangerous to dive him now, and they're not going to risk it.
Balls has been doing a great job laning this entire series because he hasn't getting a lot of attention from the jungle, and he's been keeping himself safe, buying a lot of his own wards, and still staying up there in CS. Meanwhile, Spirit still on the top side. Spirit has placed a lot of wards inside this Cloud9 blue side jungle, trying to take control of it, but the bottom side of the map here, this matchup between Corki and Graves, is about 2 caster AD carries. And at level 6, Graves gets a huge bunch of bursts, whereas Corki gets a lot of poke damage and laning power. So right now, it could be explosive for Cloud9 if they bring down a mid laner or a jungle for a gank. Graves has a very, very explosive follow-up to it.
High unknowingly and unwittingly avoiding a gank there. He saw Spirit, he was still on race, ready and waiting, but the blue was up. So High was like, I'm just going to trot on over here. The fact that he was already at 3rd health. If it had stuck around in lane, I'm pretty sure we would have seen Spirit launching himself across with that Sonic Wave.
And it is something that Cloud9 are very good at. When they know that they've ceded one side of the map to the other jungler, they really do a good job of working around it. You can see Meteos often tries to get his vision consolidated on the southern half of the map here, whereas they really treat this northern half as a dangerous area in sort of Samsung territory. Sneaky gets engaged on.
Could be a problem for him. Death hitting level 6 here, so will he go through there? His Spirit TP gonna come down from Balls, and that sends Samsung Blue completely away from that bottom lane. They've surely just got to go Dragon now with that TP down.
That's also miscommunication because Lemon flashed away while Balls teleported in, and is gonna have to go back here. Really, really big summoner not going to be available for a crucial moment in the game. The Dragon fights at the 11-minute mark here. This is going to be really, really interesting how Cloud9 work around this. Balls canceled his back, and he's sticking down here. They may try and force Acorn's teleport down.
5 members are there. Sneaky sidesteps. Still, as you mentioned, Balls is there. They are giving up a hell of a lot in that top lane right now. High comes around. Dade's going to get caught. No, doesn't land the stun. He gets himself away. Exalt on Sneaky. There's the equalizer. That's what they were waiting for. Quick Monsoon comes out. Can they get the kill, though? That's the question. Hart's going to get away from this one. One more hit. Balls goes in. Balls gets it. He's kicked straight back in towards the tower, though. He's taking too many tower hits. He has to get away. He gets counteracted. Acorn's in. He goes down. High comes in. Gets himself a kill. Acorn goes down. Dade can clean up though. Cloud9 are all so low. One more shock blast. Can he land it? He's going to try and line it up. What a stun from High. That will save Cloud9. They won't get the Dragon, but they do get 2 kills.
That is just so smart from Cloud9, working around the teleport disadvantage. Sneaky and Lemon do a miraculous... He doesn't have his ult anymore because he used it on Deft. Okay, so Sneak and Lemon did a miraculous job of baiting in that baiting in that bottom lane aggression for balls, because if they hadn't been able to do that, they would have been in a really, really tough spot. All that being said, though, with Cloud9 coming out with the kills, we have seen so many times, even if you come out with the kills, everybody's low on health. Blue are able to take the objective after, so they come out ahead in gold. Very close exchange, though.
Such a tense match so far, and we saw as Dade came to that bottom lane, what just stripped the health bars with I think a 4 or 5 man at that point. Shock blast right into the middle of them. Signaled the retreat from Cloud9, or at least half of the retreat, as High nearly got caught by it underneath his own turret. Actually, they need to be careful here. Deft is going to be pushed. We've got Lemon Nation coming from the side. Mobility boots on the Zephyr will slow him down, but he couldn't get on the other side. Had no Monsoon to knock him back either way.
And really, Cloud9, they made the best of a bad situation. Like you said, the teleport was used early. Balls made it count. He's stuck around for a very long time losing experience in that bush, in which, of course, Acorn did make up for. Teleported down in the end, but he got himself a big chunk of farm while he was having a free reign in that top lane. We are still seeing, though, Cloud9 keeping the pressure on, and Meteos and High, they're looking for more. Dane's going to walk into a trap.
Ooh, can he get him? He's right next to him.
There's the stun. Dane, though, has he got the damage? He does. High gets the kill. There is Spirit coming around the side. Gets the shutdown. Will get up onto the wall as well to get away. That would have been a lot cleaner if Meteos would have gone over the wall.
The few seconds that it cost them with Meteos not jumping in for the extra damage actually cost High his life, because they weren't able to finish off Donnie in time.
Lemonation having to use his ultimate to save his life there. The Monsoon is now down. Death's going to make across. Sneak is the target, but they're still putting it down. Sneak gets damage. Can they trade it back? They can! Sneaky gets on towards him. Now Hart's going to get found out. He gets one more hit. One more shot should do it. The Zephyr, he doesn't want to steal it. The Unbreakable goes down. Meteos keep himself. He comes in. Sneaky! Just about hangs on. Woo! This game is once again delivering in this best of 5.
Now, Cloud9's bottom lane made that even more exciting than it had to be by not initially just jumping on the Braum. All right, let's watch it from the beginning, though. As we said, the burst from Graves catches a lot of people off guard. He still has his ult this whole time during this exchange. Braum trying to get passive procs on both of them. Ends up hitting Sneaky, but the ult misses. Doesn't get the knock-up. And there's that burst that catch. Now, this is a point where I thought Sneaky played it a little bit passively. He walked a bit backwards instead of forwards, but Lemon breaks the shield. Then they go in for the kill, and Sneaky sticks around to fight these minions. He gets the level up with his buckshot and last auto attack. Woo! More exciting.
Oh, in trouble though. He's going to face take right into Spirit there. There's the kick coming in, and well, the equalizer went down. Ball's still alive for the
beautiful.
Spirit gets his rampage. 4-0-1 now.
Great play from Spirit. Down bottom, though, just a little invade with the duo, jungle and support, trying to get some ward coverage down. As we said, Cloud9, they see the top side of the map, and they try and control the bottom side. Replenish their ward coverage down there, and they collapse on Deft, not in time.
Yeah, Deft gets away, gets himself the Triforce. It's an Infinity Edge for Sneaky as well, and may well be the advantage for Cloud9. Top turret goes down, trading towers, one apiece, and the gold is just 300 between them, but Cloud9, they are delivering, but Samsung Blue, we've seen how strong they can be once they get a roll on. And they are looking pretty confident right now. The jungle is very much in Cloud9's control, and they're still putting pressure on this tower.
Trying to bait them to step forward there. Another good Howling Gale over the top of the wall from Lemon Nation. No real opportunity. Actually, High looked like he was trying to come down, was pinged out, and there's a lot, as you said, deep wards here for Cloud9 to move around between bottom and middle.
And Cloud9, they're solo laners right now. To the next team fight that breaks out, they're going to bring quite a lot more because of the itemization choices. Rumble has hit your favorite point in the game, D-Man, where he's got both of those items for the flat penetration, whereas Maokai with the stacking Rod of Ages. And Jace does the same thing. He's still stacking his tier. Syndra has gone for the Morellonomicon, very early power spike. everybody focusing on this mid lane. They're trying to make something happen.
Balls finds Spirit in the jungle, but Hai was building up to use his ultimate for so long there on Dade. He's just wanted to catch him out constantly in that bush, in the side control. The rest of the team were waiting to pounce. They want to make a move on this middle turret. They all keep grouping there, but instead they're going to step away. Dade just keeps on clearing that wave after wave. Hai, once again, is sneaking around the side. They're going to go for the stun. Is he going to land it? Dade backs away, but it could well be the turret. No, teleport from Acorn.
I got caught in the jungle.
Oh, he's surely dead.
Oh,
no, Spirit coming in. Sapling is down. Acorn down to the back. There is a big blast from Dade as well. Can they chase here? The Q from R doesn't land, and that basically means they can't follow through on kills. But can they get the tower?
Spirit able to catch out Hyde there. That's why Blue wanted to re-engage. Great job. They pick up the kill, and they gain control of mid lane.
Very well worked there. Cloud9 though reacted. They didn't all dive in this time around, but had Deft been there, that could have well have been cleanup duty, and Samsung Blue could have taken a lot more from it. Cloud9, they need to thank themselves. Look, they only lost the tower for that one.
Well, let's have a look at the overall picture, something that we've not really looked at, 'cause it's been a crazy one so far. 7-6 in kills, a Cloud9 up 2,000 or even just 1,200 gold that separates the two teams as a whole. And obviously, the Dragon is coming up in 10. This is a big one for how this game is going to be shaping up in the next few minutes.
Well, Cloud9 need to get themselves together. They've been trying to make plays, but they have been countered by Samsung Blue, and now with the Dragon available.
The thing is, for Cloud9, they traded teleport, summoner spell, teleport advantage for that kill and for that mid turret. They're not really going to make use of it here with everybody just grouping up, but they will have Rumble there for the beginning of the fight. So if Blue group up and they catch them in a corridor, and remember about that line damage from Cloud9.
The Unbreakable goes down, forces Hard to wait. Remember, there's no tower in the bottom, but the rest of Samsung Blue do push down the mid lane, and Cloud9 are split up here. Hai is a long way away from this fight, so they need to regroup. They cannot approach this fight from the sides. They have to be as one.
I gotta think that Cloud9 should have made the call to make use of that teleport discrepancy, because they just lost out so much when Acorn teleported mid, and yet everybody right now, even ground, all just grouped up around Dragon. Vision and control by Blue right now as well, and they're starting up that Dragon.
Poke a little too strong for them there. Dade getting a good couple of shock blasts off. That Dragon is going down, smited away by Spirit.
Give it up.
Cloud9 can't get near it.
Blue just did such a great job of containing Cloud9 in their own jungle, wasting all of their time. They didn't have to trade anything for that Dragon. He's dead.
They got him. Oh,
He's alive.
blocked. He's going down. Red buff. The red buff. No, not quite catching him out there. Meteos is keeping him at bay, but they may even take the turret from this one. The Dragon and the turret, that is critical. And Samsung Blue making moves on Cloud9, who are just not reacting. They're lackluster right now.
The walk away burn, not enough from Lizard buff from Lee Sin. Or we didn't even have Lizard buff, it was his Lizard Elder. Now he's gonna have the Lizard buff though. They aren't done with just the Dragon. They invade the jungle. Blue with a pretty strong foothold now. If they keep up the vision on both sides of the jungle, they can continue to pull these invades.
Looking good for Samsung Blue. It's a 2,600 gold. Not exactly masses, and we've seen that, well, both of these teams, to be frank, can play from behind. The question is, will Cloud9 be allowed to here by Samsung Blue, who are just jumping on every opportunity that they get? And look at the bottom side of the map. It's full of blue wards at this point. Top side, not quite as much, but we're going to see a bit of a push there on that middle outer turret. That would help Cloud9 get some of that gold back.
Yeah, Blue jump on that defense, though. Everybody going up there, so they should be able to control it. Talking about the wards, actually, Cloud9, Lemon Nation in the group stages actually had the least wards placed per minute of all supports. And so the rest of Cloud9 kind of has to carry that burden and fill in the blank spots here. Right now, though, they have no vision to work with. Blue shove up mid, and they've got great position on this turret.
Yeah, the burst there, that is the tower gone, yeah. Absolutely, Cloud9, they're going to get caught out. They tried to flank, and instead the Glacial Fisher catches on Hai. Will he get caught out? Oh, Spirit catches him once again, but it kicks him to freedom. I can't believe it, Meteos. Oh, great exhaust from
This is a perfect equalizer opportunity.
Equalizer, can they get it in the right spot? No, they get him down.
He already used it.
Yeah.
Helios, Lemon Nation, Sneaky, the three that are left there on the side might be in trouble because Samsung Blue still got 5 men alive. Spirit, the one that's really low amongst them, but they're going to go and try and have a good go on this turret, and it's going to be down to half before they can say anything. Lemon Nation takes a shock blast, and Samsung Blue push their way through. They're going to take the inhib as well here, maybe? No, they back off. Oh!
He just threw them away. Is that enough? Here's a toe!
Oh, man!
Boom.
Holy cow! Dade had some power behind those shock blasts.
I was worried in Champion Select for Blue that just Jace and Corki wouldn't be enough poke, but man, I will not doubt Dade's Jace any longer. Just the Jace and Corki are taking gigantic chunks out of Cloud9 health bars and providing plenty of poke for them to push onto objectives.
And back to your point about warding here, the fact that Lemon Nation had placed in group stage less wards than anyone else, any other supports, makes it even harder this time around. With Spirit being on Lee Sin, he's got that sight stone as well, which means more wards all around for Samsung Blue. High, trying to get the tower, managed to get the stun onto Heart, but doesn't quite get the damage to pick up Cloud9's second tower of the game. That gold lead just getting larger right now, swinging for Samsung Blue. Let's have a look at that one again. It was the bomb followed by the shock blast combo.
So yeah, Corki and Jace, the rockets plus shock blast. Whew. And that, he wasn't even that low. He was about half life when the first rocket hit.
Oh, Hardcore's out. Has he gone too deep? He's got the support, the buddy system in full effect. Dade comes out. That shock blast reacts. Balls completely punished for that one. So all of the work that Cloud9 did in this bottom lane completely undone in a matter of minutes. And Sneaky, if he doesn't back away now, may well be baited into this one thinking he's got Meteos in support, but Samsung Blue, they're collapsing and they're coming from every angle. Meteos can just leap away from this one. And I think C9 have to back up. Dade's coming around the side. It's a 4 versus 2 in the bottom, and they have to give it up.
Now, yeah, they are going to have to give it up. They don't have much vision either to work with, but look at this Brutalizer here on Corki. That's a fairly rare build. Going for flat armor penetration. Now, cooldown reduction is definitely good for him. Definitely helps out with his ulti as well. Not only stacking up quicker, but also the animation with it. It comes back to deft and his love of these skill shot AD carries and his ability to squeeze out every last bit of damage from them, weaving in auto attacks and spells.
This is so far been a comedy of errors. Spirit going to take the blast. High is moving in there. The equalizer goes down. They're going for Dade. He will be shut down by High. Can they keep this going though? Big tanky Acorn right in the middle of them. Good ultimate out of Heart as well. But there's damage is just not there. Balls gets turned around on. And I think now they're going to keep going. Late Monsoon from Lemon Nation as he flashes away. Where are the rockets going to come from? Depth zone. High's going to go down. There's another one. Clean up. He's going to keep going as well. Good knock up on Elimination. And Elimination will go down. It's 5-for-1. It's an ace for Samsung Blue.
Such a clean team fight for Blue. The re-engage there, Deft on the other side of the wall, throwing rockets until he had the sure kill to flash up. And Spirit has hit almost every Q I've seen him throw out on that Lee Sin. The micro from these guys, the skill shots has been ridiculous all game long, all series long.
I mean, fantastic. Let's take another look.
So they get trapped, and they take out the main source of poke, Dade, really early on. Teleport comes in as 2 members jump over the wall. So that was miscommunication for Blue there. Deft and Heart down there in the bottom didn't do much for that until they bait in Cloud9. Then the huge rocket, the re-engage from Acorn, allows Deft to flash up aggressively and continue the chase. And then Spirit and Acorn both with the re-engage here. Flash, twisted advance. Ridiculous. One more rocket kill, and as we know, Spirit lands the Q.
Flash you at that.
Oh, Flash Sonic Wave. Dragon picked up big advantages. All going Samsung Blue's way right now. And all 3 dragons their way. It's kind of similar to what they tried in game 1, but they've just tweaked it a little bit. They're like, we want the Jason there, we got the Corki, we got a bit of poke, we can keep it going, but let's just adjust a little bit. And that's the thing. Samsung Blue, pretty much all Korean teams, they're so used to playing best of 5s. They're so used to adapting. And Cloud9, they need to be looking at this game. And now, it's looking like it may well be over for them. They need to start thinking, how will we change things for game 4?
This Corky Brutalizer has turned into the Black Cleaver, so not only does he shred with his minigun armor, but he's also going to be shredding percentages with his Black Cleaver. So he's opening up so much penetration for him and Dade, as well as Spirit. So I guess it's all coming to fruition right now.
And Magic Pen boots as well, just to, add a bit of Magic Pen for the mixed damage as well. Looking good for Deft and Samsung Blue. That turret is not going to last long. One last shield from Lemon Nation, but it will be falling. Samsung Blue completely zoning them out there, and that means mid lane and bottom lane has nothing left outside of the base. Well, mid lane doesn't even have an inhibitor turret left standing on it. It's a big lead that's opened up for Samsung Blue. 10,500 gold in their favor. Makes it hard for Cloud9 to even be thinking about getting involved in fights.
Still just the opening kill that Spirit wasn't involved with so far. He's had his hand in everything so far outside of that. Maybe, just maybe, proving why Lee Sin locked in first, of course. Why it's been banned a couple of times. Late transmission from Hart. He thought he had it.
He had a ward in that bush.
He had a ward in that bush. So
I think he warded at the same time.
yeah,
the ultimate,
yeah.
so.
We're giving the benefit of the doubt on that one.
If you're going to place the ward, then you usually wait to see what the ward sees first before pulling that trigger.
He's there. Ha! Got him. No, wait a minute. Cloud9 grouping, 5 members. They want to push down mid. While this is happening, Def was going along the top line. They may, just may, get themselves their first tower of the game. But again, the stun lands an Acorn. If they throw everything towards him, he is a gigantic tanky target. Deft is just taking another inner turret, an outer for an inner. Not really sure, and they may still collapse here. Samsung Blue looking to make a play. They go for Dade.
Can they get a hold of him? He flashes away from that one. The Zephyr comes in from Lemon Nation.
Wow, they've got
they need a lot more though.
Man!
Will take down Lemon Nation. Balls is running. Sneaky's running. Spirit all over him as he kicks him into the wall. Will basically solo him off. He's still alive there. Getting the regen through me. Hard. He's gonna go down. High will go afterwards though. And right now it's a 3-for-1. Spirit's still up. Will he follow through? The slow will stop him. But Def, this entire time, that was a 5 versus 4. Def takes down the init turret.
Yeah, Blue just dismantled them in that team fight.
Def's on the hunt. He comes around. Valkyrie! Lands it perfectly. Square on the chin. And now Balls. He's got Spirit chasing him. Def comes in for a full-on hit. And he gets himself a double.
Man.
They're taking the Baron. Samsung Blue are just doing what the hell they like right now.
Deft, don't play Tristana anymore. Just keep playing these skill shot AD carries. My goodness, that was ridiculous. Blue obviously have complete control of this game, and they are not looking to let this go back in Cloud9's favor. Baron going to be picked up off of the back of that one. The base is exposed. They should be able to buy and run straight towards inhibitors.
Looking like a game 3 victory. Let's watch that one again. Dade flashing away, and they just ran straight in and went too far.
So right now they had to commit everything to this. They already used the Rumble ultimate. It's a 4 versus 5, and they're out of position, so they're slowly losing ground up top. So they have to just commit all into it. And then they get spread out inside the jungle. Dade pulled that great move with Hart, where Hart put up the shield, and he was able to fire from the back of it, taking out everybody in the back line. Even Meteos can't find a kill on an isolated Jace.
Oh, this is risky. They're just going to try and run in, but instead it's leaving their mid lane completely exposed. There's no turrets there. So Samsung Blue just run straight up for free. Right now, unanswered, and Cloud9, they're just about getting a bit back in time. High will be there, but I don't think he can do a lot to hold Samsung Blue's assault on this inhibitor.
Yeah, Deft is level 16 now, highest level in the game. He's got his max ultimate, and he has plenty of damage. He's got a Leandri's Torment is what he's got.
Yep.
Those missiles hurt, Joe.
Told you. The penetration build, man.
He's got all kinds of penetration.
Look at High, he's going to try and flank around the side. This is a last-ditch effort, I think, from Cloud9 to keep them off the Nexus turrets. There's the equalizer going down. High moves in. Can he land the stun in the right target? But Hardy's there. Blocks him off completely. Dev takes down the turret. Meteos gets locked up. Phosphorus bombs come through. They turn back onto High. High focused. He tries to flash away to safety of his turret. They land the stun on Danny, but there's no follow-up. The ult is pulled, but there's just no follow-up from Cloud9, and that surely will be Samsung Blue to close out the match.
Well, they're going to get back onto the fountain, do a bit of healing here. But Acorn, I think, even with a third of his HP, can hold them off here. Second Nexus turret is going to fall. Oops, a little bit deep for Acorn. He gets finished off by the laser, but the Nexus goes down, and Samsung Blue take